Hi, welcome back to part 2 of these Scrappy strips. Fast and easy way to put together some Christmas cards if you're behind like I am. Last week we did the part 1. We made this lovely black and white card on the spot, and I'm going to set that aside now, and we're going to jump right in for part 2. We'll do the same technique, and we're going to use three different colors, so all of our cards will be a little different, which I like. To me, that's fun. I know most people will probably send out the same Christmas card to all their friends and family. I generally make them in sets of 5 or 10, and then I go on to a different design just because I miss the joy of card making if I'm making 30 to 40 to 50 cards and they're all the same. So I generally don't do all my cards of the same pattern because I want to enjoy the process, not just have the goal there. So this week we're going to right now make a card using Old Olive, Cherry Cobbler, and Garden Green from Stampin' Up. And I've got a bunch of papers here. I'm not entirely sure they're all Stampin' Up. I think they are, but they're from a lot older collections. These are just leftover pieces of paper. So let's just jump in here and get going. So I'll start with the red just because red's one of my favorite colors, and I've been looking forward to seeing what this one looks like because I have no idea where I'm going with this. So I'll just see what happens. So I took one sheet of 8.5 by 11. This one's going to go long ways or maybe this way. We'll see what happens. I cut it in half, scored it halfway through. I used the other half, trimmed it down, so we've got one piece for matting and one that's going to hold the Scrappy strips, and then a piece of just white paper for the inside messaging part. Okay, so with these two, since one is just slightly smaller than the other, always good to double check and not eyeball it. And this way I know which one I'm going to be gluing on. This is the smaller one, so I'm going to get this one out of my way for right now so I don't accidentally start gluing on it. And then I need my little silicone pad, or you can use just scrap piece of paper, doesn't matter. Just something to protect your surface because there can be a lot of glue with this. So now what I want to do is look at the papers that I have, and two-sided is a little trickier because you may not be able to keep track of one of your favorite papers if you flip it over, or directionally it will probably decide whether the card goes this way or whether it goes portrait or landscape, because you want to make sure that you've got things lined up. Okay, so as I'm going through here, I'm definitely going to be using the reindeer. Oh, good, I've got one that goes the long way. I do like the idea of going the long way with 3 panels. You can do 3 panels or even 5 or 7. I'll show you, here's an example of one where I did the other week using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pieces, although these two are the same, but you can barely tell because of where I cut them from the original sheet. So you can use as many, or you could repeat. Again, it just depends on what you want your outcome to look like. But I like that, I think with this one, it'll give me a little more flexibility to angle this. So we're gonna keep this page. What's on the back side of here that has potential, especially since it's been torn up. Ooh, I do like trees. It's getting kind of busy. Oh, this one would tone it down though. The stars and the reindeer there, I do like that. Oh my gosh, so many choices, and I'm doing this on camera. Oh my gosh. I want to go back to my piece of paper here. This is the vulnerability of doing it live. I guess there really is enough room if I go that direction. I like to use my paper that I've already cut into, so another reason to keep going through your papers so that you're not ripping up a full sheet if you don't have to. Just, you know, take your time, go through, find pieces that have already been cut into, so you're using those. Green, don't want to do that on this page. Not really sure what I would do with that design. I kind of like the trees. Trees, stars. Okay, it's coming together. Again, I have to keep flipping these over to make sure I'm not missing an opportunity here with the reds on the back side of these pages. So, am I missing anything? I don't see any more red designs back here that I don't already have. Oh, that's so cute. That's going to be on the old olive. Love those little trees. Super cute. Okay, so we got the reindeer pulled out. Maybe the bells, although we've got that other piece there. I think we already tore into that one. I think this will be a lot of white with the trees also, so I'm not sure that I'll use this one. Oh, this one's been torn into also. Yeah, love Christmas trees. So cute. So, where'd that one go? So this one's already been cut into. So I used that. Took a chunk out down here, making a Christmas card or Christmas label last year. Okay, so I've got Christmas trees. I do kind of like the little ornaments. I could use both sides of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so maybe we'll go that way and do 5. Okay, here we go. Let's go. That's what we're gonna do. Let me set these aside for the minute and get out my, yep, not gonna use them. Okay, and here we go. So the way we do this, for those of you who were not here last week, is we need strips that we're going to cut down to a smaller size that'll fit across this at odd angles, and that will be our background for our card. So the first thing I'm going to do with this piece is just get rid of where I used it before, so that's not in my way. When I look at these ornaments, they're kind of going in different directions. One's going that way, one's going that way, this way. A lot of them seem to be going up and down, though not all of them. But eventually we just have to pick a team, as they say. So I'm just going to take and this is not directional. So I'm going to decide that this is the direction I'm going to go. That's going to fit. I'm going to slide it here under my little chopper and get it kind of angled. Go like, there's a slice. And then for the red and white, I'll flip this over and let's go like that. Set that aside. So I've got this Christmas tree thing going on down here. So I'm going to cut this in half. This is 12 by 12. So I'm going to cut it at 6. Set that piece aside. Work with this piece where that is already chopped up. And so I'm not in the way of that. Let me go ahead and I will cut it like that. Let's see what we're doing here. So there's my paper. There's trash. So far I've got 3 pieces. And I'm not committing to this direction yet. Oops, it's upside down. I'm just going to lay them out, see what they kind of look like. I do like the red and white there. That's pretty bright. And then this may be too big. I may have to trim that down a little bit again. Or maybe I can just cut another piece from here based on where that Christmas tree falls. There we go. We'll just see what we see, as they say. We'll see what we see when this turns out. Okay. And then I've got this page with the stars. I do kind of like the stars. So let's... And this one's nice because it can go either way, kind of like the candy stripe. They can go upside down if I need them to, or as flexible as I need it to be. This piece, again, I cut something out here from a punch at some point. Don't remember when that was. Do you ever do that with your papers? Like, what was I making with that? I have no idea. Okay. So I've got a few pieces here, and so we could start at least playing with these and seeing what comes up. I'm not going to throw any of those others away because I can also use scraps and strips for making Christmas tags, for the gift announcements and things. So keep everything until there's really it's just not workable or it's driving you crazy because it's just too small to manage. If it's really a problem, that's when you want to start looking at, hey, I don't think I need this anymore. It's too small to be useful. Okay, so if I do like this, I'm just playing around with this. I kind of want it to be red, white, every other. So this is going to have to move around. Love the reindeers. So cute. And the stars, as I said, can go up and down. So I may just need to make these all a little smaller. Okay. I could do that. Wasn't sure what this is going to feel like. So we'll start, I'll just take like a 1/4 of an inch off of each one and see if that gets us closer to an appropriate size. Okay, get this one under here. Just trimming this down. Oops, the blade moved on me. I wasn't holding it well. That's hard with these plastic panels sometimes. I don't want to cut myself, but when you're dealing with small pieces, it can be a little sketchy, huh? Okay, let me trim down this tree here. That's a little more appropriate, and then we'll trim this one down a little more. So we just bought a Christmas tree the other day, our first tree for our new house, so we're really excited. And I ordered a tree skirt this morning. Should be here Sunday. So really excited, getting in the Christmas spirit of things. Okay, so now let's lay these out again. So here's the ornaments. That seems, I'm thinking that may go on this side. We'll see. I'm not committing until all of this is done. Candy stripes. Kind of like the idea of the stars here. And then maybe, so the trees though, really should be straight up and down though, shouldn't they? What if I do this piece, angle it that way? I'm gonna just cut down and see, because while these can all be at angles and things, I mean, trees go up and down, right? So I don't want them to look weird that they're at an angle when it might look like the trees are all falling down or something. So, okay, what if I do like this? Okay, away from the blade. And I feel like the trees may have to go against the edge just so they are upright. Okay, so we'll just think about that. And then if I put the stars there, and then what should go next? Maybe that there, this there, and then the reindeer over here. See, reindeer also kind of need to be straight up and down too, don't they? Otherwise it looks like they're falling over. Well, maybe I need to use a different pattern in this after all. I'm not sure. I like the idea of the reindeer falling. Okay, so we've got trees, and I've got the reindeer. Oh, what if I do like this? And then I could find something that will stick in the middle here, like maybe this one. Is this kind of close? Kind of, maybe, sort of, a little bit. No, I think I'm going to have to use a different paper. Maybe we'll save the trees because it does have that garden green, so we can save this pattern. Let me pull my papers back out. That's why we're flexible. I could use this one, and then we'd have 2 ornament papers. And this one's, yeah, let's just do that. No worries. We can just keep moving around. Normally, most people probably wouldn't have a problem with it, but again, I just want to get lots of red on this. Seems to be more red ornaments down here. I just always want to be sensitive to the directional thing, because once you see a mistake, boy, you may always see that for a long time. So reindeer are standing upright. I'm going to get the trees, unfortunately, out of the way. We'll see you on another card. Get these 2 pieces since I've already cut them. Set them over there with the green. Okay, let's try to line it up again. So we've got 1, and then we've got 2, 3, okay, 4, and then we have the 5. So I need to make this one a little smaller. No big thing. Like I said, I'm not even measuring any of this. So if I'm driving you crazy right now, I'm sorry, but I just don't have the heart for measuring a lot these days. So there's that. 2, And then we'll push this one over here, 3, and then 4. That's pretty close. Although, it's gonna have to go on first. Okay, we'll just start gluing and then we'll trim as we go, I guess. Maybe the reindeer should be a little smaller. Oh, I hate to waste any reindeer paper. Reindeer, that's like the best part of Christmas for me. So guess what? There's reindeer on the Christmas tree skirt that I just bought this year. I was really excited to find that. So, okay. So now we've got 1 strip. And then we can go 2. And then we can do 3, 4, and 5. And now it's perfect. So you just keep trimming and chopping with this. You cannot make a mistake. Really cannot make a mistake with this pattern at all. Just keep playing with it till you get it where you want it. Okay, so get out the glue. And I ordered more glue lately, but I don't know where it is right now. Okay. So this is this piece of paper here, and I'm just going to turn it just for fun. You can start on any side that you want. They recommend just having your, excuse me, the first piece against the edge, just so you're working off of that for the rest of your pattern here. So let's just get glue on here. I keep it pretty thin. I don't like it to bubble or bulk up. And then, sorry for my head, I'm just going to get it right on the edge over here. And there we go. There's the first piece down. Okay. And then we'll do the second piece. And this is so lovely because you can do in different kinds of paper. You can do solids, you can do leftover scraps, you can do it with the intention of doing this and for any occasion, whether it's Christmas, thank you cards, get well card, I mean any kind of card. It's just such a pretty card, and this just gives a lot of flexibility without needing too much prep and plan work, which is kind of where my head is these days. I'm just trying to keep it simple. We just got moved in, changing jobs, just family visiting from out of town, people wanting to see the place, just so much going on. I do tend to alternate the wider part of the strip on one end with the narrow part at the other. I do that for most pieces, but sometimes it doesn't work out if I've kind of got it lopsided a little bit. The other thing you can do, and you have to be really careful doing it, but I have seen a couple patterns out there where they took just one piece of paper, cut it into strips, and then glued all of those down. You, of course, what you got to be careful with there is not to get them out of order when you go to glue them down. That's a lot harder to match up each little leaf and blossom, and they're perfect. So you just want to be real careful if you decide to use one piece and you're cutting it up to have that broken up imagery. Certainly pretty when it works out, just a little more to keep track of than this. This has absolutely nothing to keep track of. So, absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So there's that. So all we're going to do next is I'm going to set this aside to dry, and then we will trim off the edges and put this whole card together. Okay, so I'm going to just set this over to the side for a second, and let's work on another card. Let's work on the green for a second, and then we'll assemble all these maybe at the end. Maybe that's how this will work. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go today. Okay, so let's look at, yay, the Old Olive. I'm super excited about this one. Love the papers that match Old Olive. So here's Old Olive. When I do the card, again, the first thing I do is I always get out my base. If I'm going to have a mat, I go ahead and cut the mats down. I cut out my piece for the inside so it's ready to go, and I grab my ink pad, and if I think I'll need the marker, I just grab that too. I just get all that color together, even though I have no idea where I'm going with this card. Okay, so I can get rid of now all the reds. I'm through with all of these. I'm not going to put them too far. Some of them have garden green on the back that we can use for a later card, but right now we're going to focus on Old Olive. So, oh, that would be lovely. Wouldn't that be great? That maybe not so much. It's kind of bold and wide and we're using it really narrow. Ooh, like little holly leaves or something. That would be maybe okay. A lot of that. More holly leaves. This is, ooh, oh, I like that. It's got a little gold on the back. That's got potential. Oh, see, I'm going to use this one instead because it's already been cut into. Let's chop that one down. Ooh, that I like too. It's got the different kind of polka dots. That'll be nice background. Probably won't use that, although I like it. Oh, trees. Love, love, love that. Ooh, there's a nice piece that's already been cut down. I can probably, we'll see if I can use that. And maybe the green gingham on the back. We'll see. Okay, so here's another piece of red. That's probably my garden green now. Yeah, so this will be the last card we do. We'll set all this aside. Okay. Here we go. So take my two mats, find the smaller one, get the others out of the way. And look at that. Okay, so let me chop that down and see if that's a piece that I can turn into something here. So cute. Okay, yeah, sometimes when you find that piece of paper that you love, you just want to use every last centimeter of it so nothing goes to waste. So I'm just gonna find where the very edge is here that I used. Okay, so now I've got this piece. That's a pretty good sized piece. I shouldn't have to trim too much, but again, you'll notice trees go, you know, they're directional and there's not a lot of wiggle room on them for being at an angle. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna kind of cut this at an angle here. Okay, trim that down. So that would be like right there. Oh, super cute. Gives it such a whimsical factor. I really like that. And then, get you out of the way. So there's that piece. And where did it go? I thought it was just here. Ah, there it went. I do think that would be really cute together. Maybe this will just be a 3-panel card. That, this one, and then polka dots. Polka dots are pretty whimsical too. So many choices. Okay, I may have to come back later after I turn the camera off and make a few more out of this old olive. I do just love the papers that have come out of this. Okay. So if I so that's not going to be enough because of where I cut into this before to use either side of this long ways. So I'm just going to have to start all over here. And since it's not directional, it's pretty forgiving. I'll do kind of a big cut here knowing I can go either way. And then this I'm going to just cut in half so that I'm careful how I use this paper. Wasn't a good cut. That's okay. This is the project to do that on. And then I will maybe kind of cut it in half. So we're just, again, giving it that steep angle. Okay, let's see how these are showing up for sizes. I'm sure other people have better techniques that aren't quite so all over the map. Oh, yay. See what I can do. But here we are. So if I wanted to, I could line this one up straight and do this one first, and then I could work around it with these other two that are much more forgiving as far as directionally. Let's see if I cut with enough width to get on this page. Oh, that polka dot really is super cute. So if I did the trees here, and then I would flip this over. So I'm going to need it to go off both ends. May need these to be just a little bit wider. We'll see. I don't know. This is what happens when you're doing it live, Lori. Okay. So the other thing I can do is I've got this piece here. Ooh. How about I just start with that one there. And then put this one like right like that. But I want all three on here. That's not showing up quite like I wanted it to. That's okay. Do like that. I have an image, but here I go, because that's kind of got to be straight. You know, it's a plaid. So let me go back to my options here. See if I need to switch them out. Save it for a different vision. A different, oh, wait, where? Ooh, maybe this one. That's what I think I should use. Instead of this, it's just going to be too cumbersome if they're both want to be at that level dimension. That just makes it just too complicated. It's just more than I want to deal with in this moment. So if I put that there, and then we put the polka dots, but this really should be in the middle. Oh, put the trees in the middle because it's more white. Don't want it all green on one side. How about I put an angle on this side? Let's just give, I think that'll look a little better, don't you? If that's not straight up and down. That just looks a little forced, if you will. So let's just cut that down. I think that's gonna make this a lot easier. And then we can do like that, and then like that. How super cute is that gonna be? Okay. Okay, let's try that, see what happens. Okay, let's get all this. Oh, so many scraps, yikes. The first thing I do, I like to get rid of my scraps so I'm not just overwhelmed by that. And then the blades. Get those out of the way so you don't accidentally cut yourself. Okay, so what I'm gonna do to make sure this is straight, so I'm on my ruled pad, protected pad here. So I'm gonna make sure this is directly lined up on the ruler lines. Doesn't matter which one, but that way I know it's straight. And so then when I do like that, put the paper against it, I can line this up right at the bottom, and it will be, all the trees will be up and down. They won't be falling over in the forest. We don't want any Christmas trees falling over. Okay, so let's get some glue. Do not like Christmas trees falling over. Okay, so that's how I would do this if you're trying to do the Scrappy strip spontaneously and whimsically, but you're using a paper that's directional, that has it up and down and can't really go crazy with it. Just use lines on your paper and that will, or on your board, and that will help you to get exactly where you want it to be. So that's a smaller piece. That's a wider piece. There we go. That's what our card will look like. I'm going to go like this. So the other thing to look at, if you're on the edge of your paper, you may have kind of a band of the solid color and you may want more of the design. So just flip it over and see if that keeps it with less of that just blank color. If you want more design, just feel free to keep looking at that paper until it stands out to you where more of your design is and how to maximize that in your image. Okay, and then you flip it over, try to remember what you were talking. There's the gluey side, so I can migrate this down now. And again, you can go straight up against it, but I like to leave just a little bit, like a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch, to give a little bit of feel between the papers. There we go, push that down, and this will be our last piece. It does go faster when you're only using 3, but it is really pretty when you use 5. I'm just, today, again, not really being pretty kind of spontaneous. I wanted to give you your part 2 before the end of the year. I was like, I haven't done the part 2 yet. What have I been doing? So, okay. I'm gonna just turn this over so I have a better angle to look at this on. And this piece does fall off. Usually when I've done this in the past, I've tried to line it up on the edge, so I'm only cutting on 3 of the 4 sides. But again, today, because I really wanted to use those Christmas trees, and this is such a pretty pattern, but I just somehow don't always know what to do with pretty patterns if they don't speak to me. And using the other color papers just really brings it to life and gives me an idea so it's not so overwhelming. So again, this piece is wet, just like the red was, so we can set this aside to dry. Okay, and let me see what our red and white's doing here. That's pretty, oh, it's a little sticky still. We'll wait a little more just so my scissors don't get too trashed. And then we can work on garden green. Garden green. So garden green, I did find that my cardstock was not nearly as thick as I anticipated. So when you're doing that and you go to fold, make sure you're using the thicker of the scoring tools, because the thinner ones can pierce right through the paper, right on through. Okay, let's get some paper out and let's talk about garden green here. So there's, oh, that's a busy pattern. No green on that. Oh, let me get my gluey thing out of the way here. Start in the middle of this. Okay. So again, I'm not loving those papers. Not loving that. Busy. Do like that. Little stars. This one's been cut, so we'll use that one first. This would be another kind of a really good background piece. Oops. This is cute. It's got little trees. If you see it, you can see the little trees in there that, so it is directional. These trees, this is the paper for that. This has mittens. We could use that. And the other part of that tree piece. Let's see what we've got over here as far as green. Nothing. Oh, we should use this piece because we've already been chopping on this. So again, just use up as much as you can. And is there anything over here that I missed? Oh my gosh, so much paper. A lot of this was the old olive, and so this piece has been used before, so I can chop into that first. Okay, so chop 2, 3, and 4. Yikes, still need a 5th piece. Okay, so we're gonna have to make a decision here. Okay, so there's the 2 white pieces, there's the 2 green. I'd like to use another predominantly green piece, so that it's not just all that white coming back. Where was, let me see, there was that one piece that had kind of the gold in it. Oh, here it is. Maybe doesn't really go with the ambiance here, although these 2 would look really cute together with the I think those would work, but otherwise maybe we could reuse the green twice on the paper, because that's what we've got to work with. So let's see, and if you don't like it, well then you'll know not to do it on your cards. Don't do what Lori did. Oh, so okay. I think we've already got the card, that piece in here, but I did cut it already, so I've got it. Oh, we could do 2. We could just do 2 trees too. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Just gonna double check, make sure I didn't miss any ideas here. The red and the green is just really intense, which is why I'm not going to go back and forth with red and green, because that would just be, to me, really bright. So we'll just see how this comes together. Okay. So we've got our card, and we've got our inside piece and our 2 mats. Put them together, find the smaller one, get these out of the way. Oh, I cut down lots of trees. So I may use any number of these. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see what we see. I may not need this after all, since I've already cut down those other pieces. So on this, I'm going to chop this in half and use this section if I can. So we'll come down here to 6. Actually, maybe I'll come right to the edge of where I was chopping it before. See if that's, yeah, that's plenty big. Cut off the kind of the fray at the end that would just really get in the way. And this does not have a direction. Not really, doesn't seem to. So I can kind of do whatever. And I'll be able to, you know, flip it upside down if need be. So there's that piece. Fray out of the way. And then these Christmas trees here. Here we go again with the Christmas trees. They go up and down, don't they? I don't know if this one will be too bad on here though. We'll see. Or should I just focus on this paper too? Okay, so many decisions. Let's go to 6. Cut this in half. Oh, it's the same. See, I don't even realize it when I'm upside down. So I can just cut this down and we'll just use this. Let's see. I'll just kind of cut this in half someplace. And then we can use the paper as we go. So now we've got 3 of these. And I may want to make this one a little more extreme. Let's bring this up to a straight edge. Go. Okay, so we've got 3 of those. See what happens. See what happens. How many times do I say that? Okay, so if I put these trees here, and then I've got the green there, then if I put these, see, I'm going to run into that same problem again, just using these trees. Some don't want it. I love the pattern, but it just doesn't flow with this design. Let's go with that. Ooh, what about, oh, glue everywhere. Glue. If we went like this, and let's see if these are going to be, see, these may not be big enough now because I cut them down. That piece is, but these others are not. Okay, that one will be. So we can go like that, and then we can go like that. And let's see if we like this layout. That's kind of cute. Okay, let's do that one. Again, not how I envisioned this going. I thought I was going to be doing all these 5s, but boy, when you like a piece of paper or the idea of the Christmas tree, it does keep it a little less busy with these bright colors. The ones I found that I did with 5 or 6, it was with more muted colors, but that's just personal preference. That has nothing more than personal preference. Just how it comes out when you start putting the colors down. Okay, let's get some glue. Let's do this. And then we're going to start chopping and assembling these cards. Okay, and that'll be nice because we'll have 3 cards put together here by the end. So, let's get some glue on here. And because I'm using the edge of the paper, I don't need to line it up on a ruler or anything specific. So there we go, right on the edge of the paper. So I know that it's a straight edge for the Christmas trees. And then I want a contrast, so I'm going to do the green to get a little darker. Dark and light contrast is what I mean by that. So let's do like this. And it is a little tricky, as I said, with these two-sided papers. You got to keep flipping them over. And where'd it go? What did I do? Okay. And give yourself just a little bit of wiggle room there so you can see some of the green of the matte coming through. And the glue, most glues, the glue you're using hopefully turns clear when you're doing this. And before you lay this down, make sure you've got it covered on the edge over here so you don't have any overlap, but not the end of the world. If it doesn't completely overlap and you glue it down, you can just trim it down. No worries, I've done it. That's what we have embellishments for, all kinds of ways to kind of fix, you know, put your sentiment over it. So don't worry if it just overlaps a little bit. We can, and pretty much anything can be fixed, which is why we like this hobby so much. There are very few, as I would call them, fatal mistakes. Okay, so I can see just a hair of the paper through in between these two sheets, and with none of the garden green coming through on the edge at the end, which is exactly how I wanted it. Okay. Cute. So let's rub down, make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, so then we'll set this aside. Then I like to look at the back side. Yep, so you can see there's plenty of paper there overlapping on the back side. And it's messy right now, but that's okay. We're gonna let that one dry and we will come back to it. My silicone, oh, I need to wash that. I've just been using it over and over and not getting the residue glue off of it as I go. Ugh. This would be a good time then to use just a scrap piece of paper to make sure you don't have glue on your work surface. If your silicone mat is getting kind of sticky, which it shouldn't be, get out your big scissors, and what we're going to do now is trim off all the excess of our scraps right up to the edge there. Yikes. Sticking to my scissors here. It is best also to wait a little bit for that glue to get kind of tacky so they don't stick to your blades. Here we go. One side down. Okay, let's do this side. Yikes. Ah. Ugh, glue. Let's get that off of there. Don't cut yourself if you're playing with your blades there. Just take your time and use hot water or rubbing alcohol if you need to. Just don't cut yourself. Okay, almost done. There, cute. Okay, so this is our 5-panel example on red. And, oh, yikes. Okay, get the scissors over here. So this will be going on the inside of my card later. This is my card. And again, I didn't know which way we're going. I just cut it and said, well, I'll figure it out when I get there. And there, that's how it would look. Or what I'm going to do though is I'm going to put it onto a little piece of mat and have it popped up on some dimensionals. Now before I glue this down, because I don't want to cut into a whole other sheet of paper, I'm going to do a punch out, and that's where my sentiment will be. So I have a piece of white paper somewhere. Here we go. Nope, not that one. Here. I cut down a strip that I will use for a sentiment. I don't want to use that one. That's the one for the inside of the card. So I just have to pick the sentiment that I'm going to use so that I know sizing for the punches. Okay, so I've got this one here that says, thinking of you at Christmas. I like that. I think that'd be really pretty in the red. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll stamp that. And then I'll show you how this all comes together. Okay. As I've said before, some people punch first and then stamp. I like to stamp first and then punch so that I'm sure it's straight, if that makes sense. And the first time I stamp, I like to just make sure I'm inking it really well and that it's going the right direction. That's another thing we do sometimes is we'll do it upside down. So I do like to use a rubber mat, even when it's the red rubber stamps. I just always feel like I get a better image. There we go. So load this up really good. I probably need to re-ink this stamp ink pad because I just love the cherry copper. I've used it so much. So just give a nice good press, get a good image. There you go, thinking of you at Christmas. Okay, get that out of here. And so this we'll punch something out of the middle of this, which will never be seen because it's going to be covered, that fits that sentiment. So I've got a few punches that are out of sight from you. Sorry about that. And the way I see there's a couple ways you can do it. Most punches you can see through the back to see if it's going to fit. Let's see if I got this at the right angle here. I have this where I can slide it through. Slide it through. There we go. Upside down. And so this is why I like to stamp first and then punch, so I can really line up the letters exactly where I want them. There we go. Okay. And then I know, because I've done this a few times, I like to, even if they don't, it'll be, give it a nice matting on the back with this other punch here. I'm going to do that right in the center of this big piece so that nobody will ever even notice it's not there. There we go. Okay. Get these two punches out of the way. And of course, if you want to put ribbons on or anything else, you know, we can always kind of look at that and see if that's what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue on here and secure these two together. Not on this pad though. Get that out of here. Okay. And then you can see here that it just gives it such a nice little matted background there, even if it doesn't cover it perfectly. There's different ways of using these punches to give the different impressions. So each time it can look unique, individualized. And then where I'm looking for my dimensionals, they were right in front of me a little while ago. Here they are. Yay. Okay, so we can kind of start assembling this card now. So I'm gonna glue this onto here and see, you can't even see where that was. Just, it works really nice like that. Okay, what do we do? And then, sorry for my head in here, but I only have 1/8 of an inch for my matting, so I don't use a lot of wasted space on the sides, just enough to give that sort of that edgy feel. But I try not to do I usually don't use 1/4 of an inch. Just personal preference on what you like your cards to look like. There's no exact formula. There's, you know, guidelines, but there's always exceptions. Okay, so this, and of course, if you wanted to do a ribbon, you can, but for these particular patterns, I feel like this is pretty busy as it is. So I'm not gonna put a ribbon, but this would be where I would secure the ribbon at this point on the card so that you're not running it through the inside, which I don't particularly like that look too much. I like the back of the ribbon to be kind of embedded in the card, if you will. Always double check which way your card opens, and if there's a preference, if there's a mark or something that you want to hide, this is the time to make sure you've done that. Okay, so once again, I've got an 1/8, and I love dimensionals, but they are not forgiving as far as pulling them back up. So want to make sure that's done right. So there we go, we've got our card here. And then this guy, wherever we want him, I'm thinking maybe in the middle there. What do you think? Over there, down here, maybe right in the middle, like a third and a third kind of. Just do like that. And you can glue it down. You can use dimensionals. I'm going to go ahead and do dimensionals on him. 4. And there we go. There was another sentiment that I thought would be really nice on the outside, but it's kind of large, and so it would have involved, I would have had to use a die cut instead of a punch. I want to take the time to do that, so I'm going to probably use that one on the inside of the card. So again, always double check that everything's going to fit. In case you grab the wrong piece of the white, and one piece may have been larger or smaller, and just double check, certainly before you put the glue on. Oh my goodness. Getting glue under your blades. Yeah, I've done it. So that's why I'm telling you, don't do that. I've done that. You don't want to do that. I've got this nice thinking of you at Christmas. So I've got a big season's greetings. Here's a big Merry Christmas. That would be pretty. Okay. As I said, I just like to use the rubber. I just think it makes all the impressions come out better. The other good reason to always stamp first, especially now I tend to stamp before I secure anything. I'm really disappointed if I put a whole card together and then I stamp, and like I stamp it upside down or something. But that is the benefit of this, is always stamp first to make sure that if you get distracted or something, that your stamp didn't somehow get positioned upside down on your card. For this today, it's not a big deal because I haven't secured it. I can just flip it over. But if you were in your final stages of your card, definitely you want to test it on just a scrap piece of paper. Okay, sorry, I think my head's been in the camera for a while. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Merry Christmas. Looks good. Okay. And then you can either use your runner glue or Tombow, whatever's easiest. For this, I'll just probably use this runner. There we go. Okay, so that's one down. Super cute. Okay. And then let's go back and check on our olive green. Here we go. That's looking super cute. And get my scissors out, and we'll trim this one down. Okay. Yikes. Okay. And so let's go up and do this last stretch here. And we'll be ready to assemble this card. Yikes, sticking to the scissors. So much glue, I'm telling you. There's so much glue in this project. Okay, super cute. Let me just clean up this little edge here. Okay. And Old Olive. I had the cards right for me. Oh my gosh, did I bury them? I did. I must have buried them. Let's see where I put them. Oh, is that them? Nope. Here we go. It doesn't matter how organized you try to be. When it comes to stamping, it gets pretty out of control pretty fast. So that's going to go on there. Now this little edge up here, I just need to clean up because I trimmed it kind of close. There we go. That looks better. So I'm going to be gluing that on here. This will be the inside of our card. So what I want to do, of course, before we glue, is we're going to do our punch and figure out what our sentiment will be on the outside. So I've got a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I didn't pull them all out. I've got a Season's Greetings. That's kind of nice. Season's Greetings like that. And then I could do the Thinking of You at Christmas on the inside. Oh, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so I want my old olive. Ink patch. Okay. 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 Let's just punch that here. I'm not sure which punch we'll use yet. I'm just sort of, you know, my usual winging it. While I have the ink pad out though, I could go ahead and do the inside of the card. I have this large Season's Greetings. That's kind of cute. Although I'd like to use this one, but these got all dried up. My wet wipe, so I don't know that I can clean this in time while I'm on with you guys. Let's see what I've got over here. Oh, I could use this. Okay. So, in a pinch, sorry, in a pinch, what you can do if you're like, hey, I really want to do this. What did I do wrong? I'm out of time, I'm out of space, people are here, company's showing up. I'm just going to use a little Windex. You heard me. Now, they may dry over a long period of time, but I have done this for years. And normally I would dilute this also. Oh, this is going to be a mess. We'll see. Normally I don't do it quite this crazy. Usually I have a little ink pad with me. Boy, that is hard to do with red though. Red just gets everywhere. Oh my gosh. And now even my, oops, whoa, okay. We got to trash this idea. I use Windex a lot for cleaning the stamps, but on today's occasion, that's just not going to work because my hands are already getting kind of, now my fingers are turning red, and I definitely don't want my cards turn red. Okay, we're going to abandon that idea. Maybe we'll just do the inside of the card. I'll do that later. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I do want to do the inside though. Let me see what I've got really close by here. Let's see. Thank you so much. May your season sparkle. In the coldest moments of the year, my heart is warm because you're near. No, I don't know. Let's see. May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. Love and joy come to you. Make it last your whole year through. Friends like you make this season special. Do I have that one in here? I wonder if I've already got it on a stamp somewhere that I don't see. That would be something I would do. Let's see, friends. I'm thinking it's this stamp here, and I may have already pulled it out on. Ah, I did. There it is. See? Okay. So I'm going to use this one. And then we got to find the ink pad again. Here we go. Okay. Let's ink this up really good. Step it up. Okay. I just need to go through someday and just re-ink a lot of these ink pads. They're starting to kind of get a little depleted with all this stamping. The refills are great though, aren't they? That you can just get them wet again, and friends like you make this season special. Okay, so now we can assemble, pretty much. So we got the inside done for that. We've got our sentiment. So now we can set up for our punches and what we want this to be on. Let's see. Is that big enough for this one here? So the best way really is to use the punch itself to see if it would fit. Or if you've already, oh, see, there we go. That's a little square. I think I want something a little, you may just use the same punches as before. I tend to use these a lot. They're just, with the curves and things, I just like the impression they give. There's that one. And then take the other one, go inside the center of the mat, and pop that out. So then we'll have these two together. Go on here like that. This would be a really nice card to have some ribbon. I feel like it needs something. So what can we do to get some ribbon on here? Before I glue it on, I've got some gold ribbon, and even though there's not gold per se on this card, I feel like it would support it pretty well because it's got the little trees. Oops, where'd they go? The little yellow trees there. They kind of make me think of gold. I think this, I've got this really crazy thin ribbon. It's just ridiculously thin. In fact, it's so thin, the first time I bought it and it came, I was like, what is this? What am I gonna do with it? This is stupid. And I threw it out. And then I watched a video and saw how to use it. I'm like, well, that was dumb. So it's no longer available in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, but you can probably get it from another vendor somewhere. So what I like to do is I glue it there. So you saw how I used the runner on the back side. And then I don't even have to look. I've done this so many times. I don't want it too tight. I just kind of wrap it around. Like, I tend to do it in odd numbers as they always recommend. Just something about the way your eye fixates on things. So we've got like 5 strands like that. And I'm just gonna cut it off. Secure it down. And then you can kind of do like that. And this is going to go right over it. So it just gives that little bit of, I don't know, color, texture, dimension, that little something, something, little something, something. Okay. So now we can put it together. If you're working on a card and it just looks, I mean, plain, austere is great, but sometimes you may look at a card and go, this isn't special enough. It's missing something. You know, I just don't assemble yet. I just wait, or I keep looking at things. I pull up Pinterest. I just keep going until I get the idea that gives it what it needs. Because sometimes if you assemble too fast, like with this one, if I'd secured it down, then you lose that opportunity to put the ribbon on there. Okay, so there's that. Get the glue out of the way. And dimensions. Okay, so I'm going to glue this onto here. There we go. And again, just the tiniest border, so Want to make sure it's pretty close, especially if you're using something that sticks immediately. Glue gives you a couple of seconds, not much more, but a couple. And then I scrape out any extra. It'll dry clear, but you still don't want it to be too heavy in there. And then put some dimensionals on here. Okay. Pop the backs off. I have a tool for doing that, but I think it takes just as long to get the tool out as it does just to peel them off. So I usually don't. And it just doesn't happen. Okay, get over there. And then I'm just gonna put this right in the center over those ribbons, the little threads. And then I've got this. It's coming to, oh, so we're gonna put dimensionals on the back of this. So it pops up also. They have, along with these dimensionals, I think they're available in black and they're available in miniature. The minis are really nice when you're doing something small on your project that you're trying to secure. The black is nice. It makes me think of it as because I put this pretty close to the edge. If you're doing black on black, it's nice because if somebody's looking at the card to see how you put it together, nothing white would show through when they were looking at the card and opening it. They wouldn't see any white dimensional under it. Let's see if they're all off. They are. That's the opening. Double check. Okay. Oops. See, gotta be really careful. There's just very little wiggle room with these. Okay. Get all my mess out of here. And then we'll put this guy on the inside. Oops. And we're at the end. Oh no. I really don't want that on there. I've never had that happen. I've never run it that close. Okay. Oh, now it's stuck to me. Yikes. Okay. There we go. Second card down. Okay, so this video is going on for over an hour. I'm going to go ahead and stop now for you guys who are tired of watching me. And I'll just do that third card either on another video or maybe another video, or I'll show you at least what I ended up with. So, hey, have a great day and show me samples of what you made. Looking forward to seeing them. Bye.